Folks, let me tell you about a red flag, a huge red flag you shouldn't ignore. And then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending February 26, 2025. Often in my conversations with people who are complaining about an experience they had, whatever the situation related to real estate naturally that they're complaining about, whatever the situation is, I will ask them, so did you speak to your lawyer, your real estate lawyer? What did your real estate lawyer say about that? And they'll say, oh, that real estate lawyer was useless. Or I'll say, well, if they have a mortgage issue or something, well, what did your mortgage broker say? That mortgage broker was useless. Or they'll say they bought a home and shortly after they moved in, they found this major problem. I say, well, did you have a home inspection? And they'll say, yeah, but they'll say it in a sarcastic way. I go, what did your home inspector? Didn't they find that in the inspection? That home inspector, man, like, I don't know where they found this guy. What do you mean where they found this guy? Oftentimes, the common denominator between the home inspector, mortgage broker, lawyer, that these clients, and these are all different clients, different people in different situations, the common denominator is that those services were supplied to them either by the realtor, or by the brokerage that the realtor works for. In other words, work for me, be my client, let me help you buy, and we'll supply the home inspector, we'll supply the lawyer, we'll supply the mortgage broker. Everything is done in-house. And for many buyers, for example, they'll look at that and think, well, this is awesome. I don't have to do anything. This is a one-stop shop. The brokerage is going to supply all these services. It's not as rosy as it seems. You've got to ask yourself, these services that are an intrinsic part of the real estate transaction, they're also vital in them as their own profession, giving you guidance. You got to ask yourself, who are these people loyal to? Are they loyal to you, the buyer, or are they loyal to the agent, or are they loyal to the brokerage? That's a really, really important part of the equation here. For sure, the worst home inspection I saw, I was representing the seller. And normally we're not there when there's a home inspection. In this specific home, I had to be there because that was the agreement with the seller. The seller wanted us to not leave the buyers and home inspector alone in the home. They wanted us to be there for us to take them around the home. So that's what we did. This home inspector was supplied by the brokerage. So the buyer who's buying basically had everything supplied to them. They didn't have to think about hiring anybody else. And this home inspector showed up, was bragging that this was the 4th or 5th home inspection they've been on today, and they have a construction background. And he walked through the home. We were with him. Walked through the home, never touched anything, asked maybe 1 or 2 questions that didn't really seem so relevant, but asked a couple of questions, walked through the home. In less than half an hour, gave the home the stamp of approval, told the buyer, you got a great home here, congratulations, I'm happy with what I saw, and left. I thought, what kind of home inspection is that? Now, I represented the seller, so I wasn't about to tell the buyer, oh, by the way, get another home inspection done. But this is who they're relying on. And I'm thinking, the home inspections I've been on, drone goes up, checks the shingles on the roof. The home inspector removes the panel from the electrical panel to look at the wiring. The panel of the furnace is removed to see the condition of the furnace. The AC tested or furnace is tested, water pressure. The inspector pops their head into the attic and with the flashlight takes a look if there's any mold or any issues in the attic. It takes a couple hours, 2-3 hours to do a proper full home inspection. this guy in half an hour. But he was supplied. It was a free service. I could tell you, those buyers, they got what they paid for. They got a free service, and that's kind of what they got. So the red flag here that you should really pay attention to, if services are provided to you, who is that service provider actually loyal to? Are they loyal to you, or are they loyal to the person who's hiring them? Are they loyal to the brokerage? That's what you should be careful about. I refer services all the time. I refer lawyers, home inspectors, contract, whatever you need. I know the people. I can refer them, and I do it all the time. But I'm passing on a name, and then client and that lawyer or mortgage broker, whoever it is, they speak and decide if they're going to work together. I'm out of the loop now. Those other services are not working for me. I just have experience with those services, knowing those particular people do a phenomenal job. And that's why I pass on their name, because I want my client to have a great experience. But if those people would actually work for me, where I'm paying their fees, they're on my payroll, don't you think their loyalty is going to be more to me than the client? That's what I avoid. Not all brokerages avoid that. So be careful. If certain services are being pushed on you that you have to use those people, that's a huge red flag. There's a reason you have to use those people. It's often not in your best interest. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, take a second here. Just hit the subscribe button. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Go to tsre.ca. This stands for Team Sessa Real Estate, but tsre.ca. You'll land on my calendar. Click on the time and date that suits you. We'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, we're going to be breaking down the numbers here for detached properties, but check out these two townhouses we have on the market. They're both at opposite part of the GTA. The links for both townhouses will be on the board at the end of this video. Let's get started. We're going to look at the detached market. We're going to be breaking down Mississauga, Brampton, and then Durham. For Durham, we're using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as our Durham sample. For kind of looks like average prices in all these areas is trending up. Pretty predominant in Mississauga. Brampton, Durham, it's tough to say. We'll take a closer look. We're going to start off with Mississauga. For week ending February 26th, 26 detached properties were sold. 5 sold at $2 million or more. It's really tough to say which way sales are going, other than sales are kind of flat, although they fluctuate week to week, but kind of averages out to being, they're predominantly sitting in the mid 20 sales every single week. Now, average sold price though looks like it's trending up. For this week, it's $1,545,000 for the average detached property sold in Mississauga. 1,545. It's a little bit higher than where we were this time a year ago. Rounds off to a 0% change. The median price is 2% lower. Median price is $1,367,000. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. When we look at the average price, that looks like it's trending up. When we look at the median price, the dotted line, the 4-week moving average, it's kind of flat. 26 were sold, 23% sold at list price or more. Listings, if we look at January to today, to February 26, compared to last year for the same period, we have far more listings this year than last year. When we look at active listings, which is trending up this year, this time a year ago, We have 70% more properties available for sale in Mississauga this year versus the same week a year ago. Months of inventory, we're sitting at 4.7. This time a year ago, it was 1.6 months of inventory. Very much a seller's market. And now we're sitting at the top end of a balanced market, maybe a buyer's market. Big difference. Here's Brampton. 30 detached properties were sold. Overall, kind of looks like sales are trending down. We would expect sales to be trending up. It's not happening. So 30 were sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price, though, looks like it's trending upwards. $1,208,000 is the average sold price. These are for detached properties only in Brampton. 1,208 is 3% lower than this time a year ago. The median price of 1,225 is 3% higher. Both average price and median price look like they're trending upwards. And I'm using now for reference the dotted line, which is a 4-week moving average. Sales, fewer sales this year versus a year ago. More listings this year versus a year ago. When we look at active listings, that is trending up. We basically have double the amount of listings available for sale this year versus the same week a year ago. So active listings has doubled, 99% more. Months of inventory sitting at 5.7. This time a year ago in Brampton, it was 1.3 months of inventory. Big difference. Here is Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. For week ending February 26, 36 detached properties were sold. One of those was at $2 million or more. This is pretty clear. Sales look like they're trending up. Not by much. It's by 1 or 2 each week, but the trend is more and more sales. Average price, not sure which way it's going. There was a couple weeks a shot way up, and now it's come down. It's sitting at $1,120,000. If we were to get rid of this week or two of really high, average price would seem kind of flat. Compared to last year, 1,120 is 1% lower. The median price is 3% lower. Median price is $1,070,000. 36 we said were sold, 47% sold at list price or more. You could see the blue is last year, the orange is this year. You could see we have fewer sales this year. We have more listings this year. Active listing is trending up versus this time a year ago. We have 89% more listings available for sale, more detached properties sitting on the market unsold than we did this time a year ago. And months of inventory is sitting at 2.2 months of inventory. This time a year ago, it was 0.7 months of inventory. Big difference. Here's a quick summary. Pretty much either a balanced market or a buyer's market in some areas, especially in the Durham region, Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. Price point, home type, detached, it's going to be somewhat competitive, bit of a seller's market. Thanks for watching. Now check out these 2 awesome townhouses we have for sale.